You're in Emsolation.
Hello there and welcome to a very special edition of Emsolation. Michael's anus is pursed. He doesn't know where this is going to go. My name is Emrasiano.
Clenched.
Clenched.
It's what
The
we like.
chair could go
Pinched,
missing at
I would
any
say.
moment. My name is Emrasiano. I'm a writer, a singer, a stand-up comedian, a maximalist power queen, a neurodivergent magic and a podcaster. And Michael Lucas, my best friend since I was 11, award-winning screenwriter, is here with the star of his show, the Newsreader.
That's all I get?
Yeah. No, I'll be saying the same thing about Sam when he's opposite me as well. Don't worry. Award-winning actor.
Multi.
This is what it's been like for 3 seasons.
I can't wait. And my friend, not Michael's, Anna Torv, joining us.
Gosh, it took you a while to invite me.
Oh,
I know. It's my fault. She'll 100% say it's my fault. It's my fault.
Anna,
It's my fault.
I've seen your live show before I've been invited onto your goddamn podcast.
Listen, bitch.
Like, what is that about? I've had 5 shows out in the last... God.
Michael John Lucas, if you do not
I
jump
posed
in
with
now,
a flower backstage.
You did. You really did. You weren't saying
wore your
this to me,
shirt.
though. You weren't telling me that. You weren't saying I want to come on your podcast.
I did.
Oh.
100 times. I also said I wanted to come and listen, and I just kept thinking,
Did you? I don't
Doesn't-
know.
Listen,
Anyway.
I said to him, why are you keeping Anna and I apart? What is going on? He's like, oh, she hasn't brought it up. I'm like, just ask her. Like, I can't, but this makes me wild. If Sam Reed sits opposite me tomorrow and says the same thing. So help me. Look at me. Michael Lucas,
All right.
you are taking
Yes.
control of this interview because this is your show too. Both shows, Newsreader and Emsolation. So I'm handing it over to
Great.
you. Newsreader Season 3 is kicking off this week.
This Sunday, yes.
Yep, over to
February
you.
2nd. February 2nd, and where it's our third and final season. It's coming to a grand crescendo. So if you want to see what happens to Helen and Dale, you just have to tune in all 6 episodes all at once. But I want to just get you. We asked for questions, and we've been blessed. They're just really delightful questions that have come through. So I feel like I just want to get stuck into them because I feel like
Before then, Anna, what's it like working with Michael Lucas? Like, I have to work with Michael Lucas all the time. In terms of, as an actor, you work with a lot of writers, EPs, which he is both. How do you compare Michael to others?
To be honest, and I'm going to answer seriously because I have so much love and respect for Michael as a writer and as a producer. And you don't get to work with a lot of writers and producers. And one of the things that kind of made the show so great, made us kind of like be able to be so free, is that Michael is ever present. He has like the understanding that best idea wins, which I think we all do. He's so not precious. And I think people think actors are, and I'm like, are you joking? Like, we have to go again and again and again because we get it wrong or someone wants something different. So when you're then, working in this kind of like creative and collaborative space, you want to be with someone that you can get on the phone and have really verbose conversations, which we do, but it's always the work.
that's what I will miss the most, actually, the conversations.
Yeah.
Also, because...
What kind
right
of
from-
conversations are happening there? Like, Anna, you're calling him and saying what?
I email a lot.
Yeah, she's a big fan of a late night email. I love it when I
I'll
wake
go
up in the
home.
morning. You know what she's not a fan of? Punctuation. dash, 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 dash,
Between her and I, you must feel like you're getting contacted by serial killers a lot.
But you go home and you start to prep. And to be fair, like I've sort of, and I think it was when we started Newsreader, I started prepping in a different way. And I think it's sort of like, to be honest, part of it was also we were moving so quickly and she was sort of so all over the place that you're not method, but you do end up a little bit infected by the energy of who you are being all day. And so then I'd go home and I'd start to prep the scenes, and I'm pretty across it. Like, I always look at the show. I don't just look at my little bit. And then I'd have ideas or questions, or can we not do this? And so then I would like just a total dump. And then I'd come in with like, what do you think? What do you think? Or then we'd talk, but we knew. And I think that's a personal thing too. Like, there's always like, and it's in every job, it's not just the newsreader. I always have a scene that just bumps, that I just hate, that I just can't, I don't want to do it, and I just really hate it. And so each season there's been one of those, but they've turned out to be the best scenes.
But also,
and because we've just gone and worked, and then we'll do another draft, and another draft, another draft, another draft. The poor actors opposite me, like, they just have to deal with it. But we are always...
Oh, and Sam loves that too. It's generally Sam opposite you. Yeah. But it's when something bumps like that, that's when you have the most interesting conversations about the character, because it's like, why did I think that this was truthful and you're not finding that at all? And then that's when you have the deepest, most complicated conversations.
But also because of Michael and Emma, and again, it's like not like that on all shows, but because we're always all there, like predominantly we're kind of like there most days, and you then also, like a jigsaw puzzle, things change, and so then you'll find something different on the day that you then go, that's not going to work now when we come 2 weeks later to the scene that's going to come after, because you can't hit it so many times, or we should hold it and shove it there. So it's like really has been a bit of a movable feast, but not in a disrespectful way.
No, because TV writing is always like, there's always a team, and you're always like, you have a room and you're asking for the best idea, and it's not like you then freeze it and then they just have to replicate it exactly. You want to like keep the conversation going, and that was very much the case on this. And every single season I felt like there has been this big emotional moment that's been identified early on, and we know this is the big moment, and so the calibration of the steps to get there, and then what that moment is, just the hours upon hours, the emails, the conversations, sitting there at lunch trying to figure it out.
But that's my joy.
Yeah, totally.
And if you don't, if you're not going to do that, and then you are. I mean, I used to have a friend who used to get the giggles, doing network television, going, I'll bring in the meat puppets. And I'm like, then you do feel like just a meat puppet if you don't get to have that kind of, input. And it's not... It's just creative input, but also the space to kind of play and make it better, and
also because so much of her story, apart from all the professional side and everything like that, there's a mental health sort of journey in her arc. Particularly, this is true in the third season, and we're also kind of a bit of research nerds. Like, we love a bit of reading, we love a bit of experts. Like, in this season, it legitimately. Like, we basically had therapy together. We had sessions with a therapist that was a specialist in everything, and it was just like it was so riveting. Like, you're learning so much as well.
But how much can we talk about the show?
No, well, I won't want to say. I won't want to say anything much more than that.
I was going to say something, but I just don't want to. Well, I just wanted to, but I'm not going to if you don't. Well. After, if we do another, if you invite me for a long one, then we can dissect it. Yeah, because I have quite a few things that I'd like to talk about with all of that. Stuff. Because it was a real, that was fun.
It was a really obviously substantial story, and could have gone a number of ways.
But the way that where we took it, I am so deeply proud of, because it's so simple, and that's the point.
Are we referring to?
We can't
talk about it, but we'll return. We'll return.
But are we referring to a diagnosis? That's not giving too much away.
Well, I'll say, because it's in the trailer, she definitely goes into therapy.
Okay, great.
But what I won't say, like, we've just watched.
Okay.
But but I will say that
just stop talking.
No. Because Emma's already said this. I'll just say that there was one particular, like, the emotional crescendo of all of that was probably that was the most exciting, fun, hard but amazing nights filming we've ever done. And I'll talk about it more when it goes to air, but it is amazing. What Anna does, and Sam and Emma, it's pretty incredible. And we all knew it at the time, don't you think?
Yeah, I think you always do.
There was so much stress leading up to it, and then first take. Anyway, sorry.
Good. Don't apologize. This is your podcast also. We can edit anything out you don't want going to air.
That's true. That's true.
Oh, yeah, so
You can always say.
No, whatever. I just don't know what we can tease and what we can't
Yeah,
tease.
we want to tease. We want to tease.
Okay.
But I feel that's a good tease.
All right, good. Because I do know that particular storyline is going to elicit much conversation. Like I'm anticipating
But that's the
it.
thing that I've wanting. But that's the part that I want to talk about.
Yeah,
Is
totally.
that like I've had to keep this quiet from season 1.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I've found it so fascinating, the response from journalists, like in reviews, the names, the hysterical, I just have found it fascinating going, and that's a really big part of the story.
All right, let's get into our incredible listener questions. I just want to say, bem-vindo ao podcast Brasil. Obrigado por ouvir. We have a big Brazil fan base now because of you and Sam. They're listening in today.
Also, have you been to the Gold Coast recently?
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
You can't. Yeah, it's great.
Oh, well, I'm learning Portuguese just specifically for right now.
Just to come to the coast.
Yeah. Michael, do you want to pick the first question?
I just want to start with a really fun, stupid one.
Do it.
No, it's not stupid. I think it's delightful.
Yes.
And I'm really intrigued. So you know the game Snog, Marry, Avoid? Where you get 3 options and you have to pick one you choose to kiss, one you choose to marry, and one you choose to avoid.
It used to be Kill, didn't it?
Yeah, yes. See, we're much gentler now. Or are we? The world is turning. Dr. Wendy Carr, Olivia Dunham, Helen Norville.
Who's that from? Name the listener.
Snog, marry, or avoid.
So loaded.
It's so loaded. Look, a Snog Wendy for sure, because I just want to kind of like shake her up. I always just wanted to kind of like
She
shake
wants
her
it
up.
too.
Yeah.
She wants it.
Or Olivia never got a good, she never really had.
Really?
I don't think so. So let's go with Wendy.
Yeah.
And then,
Marry.
I mean, I'd marry Tess.
it's-
I don't know why Tess isn't in there.
Yeah, where's Tess?
the
Why isn't she there?
ultimate-
I was about to say she's a survivor, except obviously not entirely.
But,
Yeah.
no, I'd marry Tess.
No, not entirely. Avoid. I don't know. Who would I avoid? Olivia. I think I'd probably avoid Olivia. I'm like, I just don't want to deal with the, conspiracy stuff.
So Helen is the marry.
So I'd probably marry Helen, but like
You would have an interesting life.
Well, it would be kind of similar to my own marriage. It probably wouldn't last very long.
I love you. I
but I think there'd be great reunions
not forever.
along the way.
Nah.
Not like the old days where it was forever.
Nah, nothing's forever. That was from listener Cam. Thank you so much, darling. That was amazing. Okay, this is from Alex. Anna, which actor do you work with on the Newsreader season 3 that has the most different style from you, and what have you learned from them?
Good question.
If I had to guess, my guess would be William. That you two would have very different styles.
Yes and no.
I wouldn't answer. I wouldn't say William.
Okay.
Because it's like really interesting. Yes and no. Because he's just I think he's an actor's actor. Like he's just so present. He's so in it. He's incredibly giving. And we've had some pretty full-on scenes together, and I'm like, there is just a net there, and an actor that you just feel so
I love that.
honestly safe with.
Yeah, I love
like
that.
that's one of my favourite scenes. That scene in when he takes Helen home in season 1, and that's like William. Like you don't have to really do anything except simply just be there with him, and he'll just help you, guide you all the way. So
Yeah.
I actually don't think so.
So William plays Lindsay, that spends a lot of the show yelling at Helen, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Helen, take a breath. Haven't you done enough already?
So which actor do you have the least, the different style from?
Totally different style.
Well, Marg, in the sense
Marg,
that
yes,
yeah.
Marg, but we also don't. We've never really had a full scene to get into. But Marg's quite, probably.
So Marg So as we've been
like that
talking
you can
about,
answer
it's a
this.
very sort of, we're alive to everything on the day, whereas Marg is much more sort of, an actress that's done plays and is sticking to the script. And in season 2, I remember there was a scene where it was like Helen at her most manic and emotional had to confront Marg. And this is why Emma is so talented, because she takes these two actors that are coming at the scene in a completely different way. Marg, who's, she's prepared what she's going to do and she's rehearsed, which works for the character because Evelyn is sort of so controlled and so careful and rigid. And then Helen, who is like firing on all cylinders and just out of control, and she manages to calibrate that beautifully. So I think that they're probably the two biggest poles that I can imagine.
What have you learned from Marg, Anna? Anything?
I mean, I was nervous meeting her, to be fair, because she's, like a very familiar, actress to me. And, I couldn't believe it when she was... It's funny because you'd never lose that, You still, no matter what you do, you meet these people that you've worked and you get a bit blushy and quiet. And so we didn't really... And we didn't have... we didn't get that lots of time together. And to be honest, the most time we actually got to spend together was when we were shooting the Logies.
Episode 1 of this season, yes.
And so because we were all in the little, waiting room, like in this ballroom, whereas apart from that, we sort of like have very split, the occasional little bit.
Yeah.
So that was the first time I really got to spend some time with her.
I'm so excited about
But
the
I
Logies.
love her.
Yeah, of course. I love her. But I just want to sidebar. You've mentioned the Logies recreation. The lengths I know Michael Lucas has gone to. Like I was party to it in the
Well,
background.
everyone.
But you were you were adamant going in that it was going to be, and also this was like Michael's obsession with TV. Back to when we were kids, it was weird how obsessed we were with TV as tiny people.
It's not healthy.
No, it's not healthy. But
Why not? Look at you now.
I know, but you have that encyclopedic foundation of the 1989 Logies, which is weird, but also thank God. So we get that episode 1. Just talk us through, Michael. Can you say some of the behind the scenes stuff that you had to, for the Logies episode?
Yeah, well, we recreate it in the sense that, and this was driven by the director, who we could have done some sort of small scale version of like something that looks a bit similar. But Emma, the director,
She said budget.
But also she said, I want to replicate it so exactly that we can cut between 1989, the Logies, and our recreation, and you won't. It'll be seamless. So we can have Kylie Minogue and Bert Newton and Ray Martin and Patty Newton and all those people just interspersed with our fictional characters. And so we thankfully the ballroom where they hosted the 1989 Logies has not been renovated except for the carpet. It's the only thing. And so they the designer completely replicated the set. It was such a spectacle. And
our friend Gypsy having to go and source the outfits.
That's right. Or make them. Anna's one was a custom. She did a lot of that. And Philippa Northeast, who plays Kay, is also in a custom one that Gypsy designed herself. I mean, it was exhausting for all of them, but you could see they loved it. They loved it. And to be honest, like I kind of overdosed on Logies, and it's unusual for one of our episodes to be not really focused on a big news event. I mean, there's Lockerbie in the first episode, but that's just the prologue. And first, like by the end, I was so sick of the Logies, and I'm like, have I made the right choice? Until we started screening the episode, and people just got so excited by it. Like when they're all pulling up and the red carpet's happening, and you see like Jackie McDonald and Norman Gunston, and then Sam Reed and Anna and everything. People just, I'm really thrilled that we did it now. It was ridiculous.
But that's also Emma Freeman, who's directed every single episode of the Newsreader, is really good at. And so, even when we were in the news studio, like there's a lot of Steadicam shots, there's a lot of there's a lot of choreography that goes in for both the actors and the camera ops and she did then a lot of that at the Logies too. Like it was completely choreographed and thought out so that you could see when someone was turning, and then you could get the other bit so that you kind of like can splice all of that stuff in. there was nothing left to chance.
Every season, Emma and Earl, her director of photography, have come in and they've wanted to like do something that will challenge everyone. So you come off the last season, you think, God, that almost killed us. And they always set like a special challenge that will just exhaust everyone. So, and the Logies was like, it was a week in that ballroom and just extras galore. But I'm thrilled we committed.
Oh, it's so great when nerds come together because magic happens. Doesn't it? I just
True.
live.
And it was.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's
Yeah.
like a collection of nerds.
Totally. Oh,
Totally.
It's the best kind. I don't know what you'd call that as a collective noun. I don't know.
We do need one. We do need one.
Do you want to ask the next listener question, fan question?
Yes. This is from Anna. I love your duo with Sam. You're both incredible together. What was your favourite scene to shoot with Sam and why? It can be a scene from any season.
My favourite scene is when you tell him you'll love him anyway. And I think you improvised that line from memory.
I can't go up there like this.
You're gonna be just fine. I'm gonna be right next to you. I love you just the way you are.
Yes, she did. I can confirm.
It's funny because the question is not necessarily what's my favourite scene of Sam and I, or of Helen and Dale. Like, what's my favourite scene that Sam and I did together?
Yeah.
Like the shooting of it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, because we get the giggles a lot.
I love that.
But Emma's beautiful. She's always really beautiful, and she always has patience and time, and she always gets it done.
Yeah.
And it's like the night before we were about to go for a Christmas break, I think, we're like literally we have, I think, maybe 15 minutes left in the house before it's like taillights, you got to get off the street.
Which is a desperate
Which
time.
is like, you've got to get
Panic.
off the street, and we're punch drunk. Like, we have been working nights at Helen's house. Like, we're just like, whatever. And we're doing the scene where it's not even a great scene. They've just come back from
Darwin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the Lindy Chamberlain stuff. And they've checked the thing and they're going, yeah. And the scene, I don't even remember how it was written, but we were supposed to have a kiss or something in Sam, and we just couldn't. And then we had an intimacy who kept asking him, and Sam and I just could not. We're just on the floor, and when the two actors are on the floor, like, and the crew's like,
Yeah, we've got to get out of here.
like, usually they're in on it, but they're just like, because it just went on. And then Emma finally comes out, and what did she say? She's like, there's nothing I can use. So what are you going to do? We have 10 minutes. And then we went, okay. And then we shot it. So it was just a stupid. I do remember that just being stupid. But there's been a lot.
Oh, there's been a lot. And there's an uncontrollable laughter. Sometimes Minister Button.
Yeah.
Oh, God. There was one time, it was for a random news story. And the thing is,
It's
wasn't
always late at night.
It wasn't even for the main, like, a big scene. It was we were just getting new stuff to play on the screens in the background.
Season 1 or season 2?
Season 2. I don't know that you'll even be able to identify it, but they just had to read a very serious news report about some sort of cabinet reshuffle or whatever. But the minister's name was Minister Button.
Which is not even funny.
It's not even funny. But for some reason,
Sam could not.
he just got the giggles, and then you said, I'll just read this one. But then you got the giggles, and it just went on. And I was sitting there going, this is not important. Let's just take it out. But you got it. Professional.
Okay.
I don't know. I can't even say. There's been so many. There's just been so many.
For me, unquestionably, it is in the third season.
Well, that's-
and again, and we'll be able to talk about it more. Oh, yeah, it's midway through the season, and it was just.
But I didn't say that because then I can't explain why.
No,
what
I know.
made it.
Yeah.
Aw,
yeah.
I mean,
We
give
can-
us. Remember
teasing.
No. Well,
this is coming out next
because
week.
you can cut it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all
Yeah,
6
We've got
eps will be out,
so it's something. Well, it's the thing that you don't get to do unless you've been working, number one, with on the same character for a really long time. Number two, with people that you trust. Number three, with professionals that are going to be able to execute it. Number four, with a scene partner that will meet you.
Yeah.
And you just don't get it. So we knew that we wanted this scene, Helen's big scene, like Helen's moment, and had it written in quite a few different places. It was
Oh, yeah.
It was sort of
it
like,
evolved constantly.
It was everywhere. It was sort of like all over the place, and we just.
And I was
couldn't-
saying unhelpful things like, I think she could be feeling all of it at once. Like, whatever.
Yeah, but also it was like in therapy. It was then
Yeah.
at work. It was like this is the bit. There was all this stuff, and I had it in my I had it in my head, and I thought it was going to be in the therapy thing. But I'm like, I just wanted something where you could actually show, like, what we're talking about. Like to go, this is just a glimpse, this is actually what we're talking about, this is it. And then if you just do it once, it sits with people, then you don't have to keep doing it because it's not how it works. So last season we had done, just like experimental filmmaking really, where it was like, we'll just send everyone else home, we'll roll the cameras and let's see where we're at. And that was like, the stuff it was fun. So then we come in, I've obviously gone home. I didn't send an email that night, but I've obviously gone home and had like a big like mental dump think about it. Because what we were going to do is we were going to go, Helen's, had a really bad day at work and Dale comes over and, I think Emma was like, well, maybe they'll listen to music or blah, blah, blah. And then, Sam and I were like, what do they do? Like, what would Helen and Dale seriously do at home? Like, what would they actually do at home? And then it's like, well, they wouldn't dance around to music. They'd just talk is what they would do. It's just sit and talk. And then we kind of like rejigged another thing. It was all calibrated.
I remember sitting in the backyard of Helen's home doing different drafts. We'd read them. We talk. We was like this day-long conversation leading up to it.
Are we talking about the same scene?
Yeah. Oh, I think so. Yeah. Episode 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I come in the morning and I'm like, and I speak to Sam and I'm like, I think that it should be this. And I think, because if you're going to do like an you kind of want to know where, or you want to know who's leading or what the responsible are, otherwise it just be like, and then what? No. And so then Michael and I talked and you said something, there was a whole bunch of stuff that you said. We just talked about what is the feeling.
What's the core? Yeah.
Like, what's the core? What is the feeling? Like, what actually is the thing? And then and so then Emma's like, all right, well, why don't we just do it, shall we? And so it's night. So the camera crew light the room, light Helen's house. And then they put tape on the ground so that we as the actors know. And this is why you can't do this stuff unless it's people that,
You trust
are
and you
pros,
know.
but also that are technically get it. So actors had to stay on one side of the line. This is through the whole house.
And so we're talking improvisation, basically.
An improvisation.
Like,
so
yeah.
stay on the side of the one line. So then because we've got two cameras going, so they don't catch themselves. These are camera operators. I mean, I can't even. And so then we just went to our spot. No one knew what we were going to do, including no one. We just didn't really know. I just wanted this. I just wanted to show the whole spin. And then they call action. And then we did like a 15-minute improvisation, and 8 of it.
Sam comes into the room as Dale finds Helen, and they went.
And we just did this random made up.
Yeah.
Based on a core kind of like, what are we doing? But it was a pure improvisation, but also it was kind of also the culmination of so much the history of the characters, so much conversation. Like we talked and talked, and all of us were sharing like the most private things in our lives. Me in particular, I was sharing. And I remember Emma and I were stashed in a little corner, watching it all play out with the DOP, and it was just this incredible moment. And the take that you see in the show, it is episode 3, is the first take. And I don't think you can do that more.
Yeah.
I think that's the point of it. It's like you work in different ways. So you can either work, and I do believe that. I think you either end up working from a completely, shoot from the hip, it's totally instinctual, and if you do a lot of work, sometimes it's tough to get to that place. Or I think they're the only two options. Or you work really, really, really hard on every single detail to the point where then you are totally free again. But if you end up doing half the work, I just think that you end up like just glitching because you don't know it well enough to let it go, but you know it too well to kind of like really just embrace it.
You're
and I think
so
that's
right. You're so right. I'm the instinctual performer because I find the magic goes out of the words if I over prepare and I end up overthinking.
But if you prepare, which you do in theatre often, if you, or like even, like Mindhunter, that was like, we would do so, that was prepared
Completely different.
Completely to the bit. And it's like, it's a very different vibe and very different feeling. But I don't think one's better than the other. And I think you can flip between. But yeah.
That's
but that
credit
was,
to you as an actor, my darling. I mean, let's not minimize your skill and talent. It sounds like you were in total flow with Sam, which is like falling in love.
We always were.
Yeah, that's amazing.
We were from the very beginning.
Yeah.
And the joke is, and I actually said, I think I said that to Michelle. I had lunch with Michelle last week.
Lynn Davidson.
Nolene.
Is that Sam and I, Nolene, is that Sam and I we really just got each other, but we have never had a dinner or a drink or like we just nothing social. So
but that's very you and
you live
in
you
real
live in
life.
different states, to be clear.
No, but I was going to say there was something, and I was thinking about it. I was like really thinking about it because I feel like there's something to that because in a way, like we really, not that we don't talk, and it's not method because we don't stay in character on set, but we always met in this place.
Yeah, you're maintaining the
like
integrity.
We never brought.
Yeah,
there was never anything else brought into it.
No, I love it.
And it was.
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
it
Yeah,
makes
great.
total sense to me. You're never muddying the waters. Like it's.
Yeah, weirdly, but it wasn't conscious.
No, of course not.
It just kind of was.
But also, like, I don't see people outside of work, and I mean, you don't.
I don't really
think
do anything
Sam.
else.
We're all workaholics, so I feel like it works. It's natural. It's good.
Exactly.
Speaking of this question, I liked. This was from Nadira. If you were, I've got my answer straight away. I wonder if we all have the same person. Anna, if you were arrested, and Michael, who would you call from the Newsreader cast and crew to bail you out?
Oh, Nolene.
Nolene.
Oh, I thought you meant the real people or the characters.
character.
Oh, yeah, Nolene. Oh. Absolute no question.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yep, we all said it. Yeah. She gets an exciting season 3. I've already seen the promo of her holding a baby bump.
She does, yes. There's a lot of big life events for everyone, but particularly for her.
My favourite scene, Michael and I also, I got really mad. My favourite scene between you and Nolene, and one I defended ferociously, and it's like one of my all-time favourite TV scenes, is when she comes to you for advice. And you say to her, get yourself a suit. You're a producer now, Nolene. And the way you attacked it, I was such a ferocious defender of it. And then I heard you on the Newsreader podcast, and I'd listened to Lee and Lisa. Was it Lee and Lisa?
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
Talking about, I think Helen's, I love those two women. They're my friends, all respect. But I really disagreed with their take on it. And it's just how you would have done it. You were actually doing her a favor. That is of the time. That's what would have fucking happened. Mm-hmm. And I've never got to say it to you, even though we speak. And thank you for the way you did that scene, because it was electrifying.
Well, Michael wrote it, but it's that. But she starts off and she's like, okay. She's like, well, there'll be gossip. Can you handle that? Yes, she's worth it. Great. And you do it. And it's, thank you. I appreciate it. That was that was Helen's most deadpan scene, I think, ever.
Fucking great. This is why it appealed to me so much. I love when you go into Helen voice. I'm obsessed with Helen voice. I do Helen voice to the kids every now and then. Okay, we're now going to go to bed, and then we'll see what happens in the morning.
For your poor children, I'm so sorry.
Did you work on
But
Helen
what cracked
voice?
me-
Did you work on it heaps? Did you watch lots of Yana? Like, how did you get it?
I did. I went and did
got
sessions
lessons.
with a lady. I got lessons.
What do you mean?
Oh,
Give me a
yeah.
lesson. Give me a quick lesson. What did you do? Tell me.
Well, look, to be honest, what happened is they offered, and I just can't believe that everybody didn't just eat it up. It was just like, that was the best research. So I
Yes,
said...
it's true. Not
not
that it
everyone
divided
wanted
the
to.
cast, but you loved it.
I loved it, but it was auto cue. Because I'd said to Michael and I'd said to Emma, I'm like, okay, so we're doing all of this auto cue. Like, let's go and have a look. So we go and learn how to read the auto cue. And the woman who was doing the auto cue was from like the 80s newsroom. And so not only did we get along, but the gossip that she told me was just like fantastic. It was also like understanding. And I've said this in so many interviews. I didn't get, like, even talking to her, I didn't get that Helen was a journalist until I did.
Yeah.
The auto cue.
Yeah.
But also then the way that you do it is completely based on the auto cue and what you can see in front of you. And if it's not there, you must be a little bit weird in your phrasing.
Oh my God.
Because back then they had really crusty old ones, not like a computerized auto cue. So it was staccato, stop-start, which is
so great. But it's like then you immediately get into it. So I loved it. And then I went back. I think I went back and back. No one else wanted to, but I went back. I just loved it. And then, and then went in.
Oh, well, thank God.
The newsreader. Did you think I was going to be able to do the new? What were you expecting?
Oh, no, he knew.
Thought?
No,
were you wanting everyone to do the real? Like, what did you think when you first saw people on the desk?
Oh yeah, no, I want it, but it was very easy in a weird way.
Were you nervous that wasn't going to work?
What, with people being on the desk? No, I wouldn't say so. I mean, particularly with you, it's strange, but you know how you intuitively look at everyone's previous work, which is a silly thing to do, really, but just to see. And with you, because Wendy Carr was so, I sort of thought, I can see her as a newsreader. So I was very confident. And also, you've got a voice. You've got golden tonsils or whatever they call the amazing.
I've got no tonsils.
You'd be a great singer.
Thank you.
You would sing. Do you sing, Anna? Yes, you do.
I did when I was younger. I really wanted to. It's the thing that I really would have liked to have done. And I was in but I really don't have very good pitch. And I just...
That's absolutely not true. I'm just
that's
not. A lie.
But I really wanted to. Like, I would have loved to have done that.
I can hear it in your voice. You'd be very good. I'll make you do it next time we're together.
No. I'm not going to ever do that again. But I would have loved to have... Yeah.
Oh, God.
But don't people always say that. But
whatever.
I say to my dear friend Yanto.
This is horrific, but we've got time for one more.
Are you wrapping up your own interview?
I'm sorry. I know.
Oh, you're the worst. All right. Well,
I
want to ask a question.
I'm going to dress up though next time. Like, I'm going to be prepared for.
Oh, Michael, what do you? I wanted
being
to really.
On screen.
I just really wanted to understand how you say goodbye to Helen after 3 seasons. She's so intense, integral. And when you say you're not method, I mean, part of you, when I love saying it becomes my personality. So how do you say goodbye to Helen? I'm sad to ask you.
You know what? It's easier when, like, this is a really strange analogy, but you know, if there's a death in your life, it's obviously much better if you know it's happening and you can prepare for it and you can, and I feel like with Helen, because we knew it was coming, and so much of our conversations were, what does her story amount to? What does it leave? What does the audience walk away? Even though obviously I love her and I love Anna and I hope and assume, frankly, that we'll work together again. But there was a special magic with that character. But because we dedicated so much time to doing those moments justice, I feel like the poignancy of
there's
it.
no regret.
Yeah, there's no regret.
I think that's the part.
Anna,
I think
how do you
sometimes
leave her
finish...
behind, though, babes? Like, it's big.
You don't.
Oh, you make me cry.
You don't. It's like she'll be with me forever. You'll make me cry. Isn't that stupid? Like, I actually will cry.
No,
now.
it's sad.
Because every character, because they're real. And it's like, you look at that kind of, you know, that book, The Body Keeps the Score, and not just in trauma, but in joy, is that, like, she was my antidote to Wendy. So I did Wendy from Mindhunter. So I did Wendy. And then, you know, Helen was, you know, she was what she was. But I think from a physical perspective even, I was like, if I cannot do it, I need to just get Wendy out of me, you know? Like, I just can't be that anymore. And so a lot of her, like, that was all just, I always felt like she was a toddler, Helen, you know? Like,
yes,
I would just harness a toddler, like, everything's in, but then it's straight back on and give me a cuddle, it's all fine. But she's the learning when to, you know, Wendy taught me how to hold, you know? And I think, Helen taught me how to play your hand, and the next will teach me something else, and then you slowly, you know, expand.
Oh, all right. Well, Newsreader Season 3, all of it will be out by the time this goes to air. Binge it all. Anna, you and I will have a sit down on the couch, Oprah style.
We will.
Michael Lucas.
And I'll look good, right? You look good.
Thanks. Oh, well, you know, I've got all the things on. I've got 15 lights in here. It's fine. All right, you guys head out. Thank you so much. Chat soon.
Thank you.
Emmy.